Hi, I'm Katie Mintz. It's Thursday, April 16th, and here's what's happening in Apple Valley and Rosemount. A Rosemount man accused of running a Ponzi scheme pleaded guilty to 1 count each of mail fraud, wire fraud, and structuring transactions to avoid financial reporting requirements on Tuesday. Charles Chuck E. Hayes entered his plea in U.S. District Court in St. Paul. The government estimates in court documents that investors lost more than $20 million in the scheme. A sentencing date has not yet been scheduled. Hayes faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison on the mail fraud count, 20 years on the wire fraud count, and 10 years on the structuring count. Hayes also faces a maximum fine of $250,000 or double the investor losses if greater for both the mail and wire fraud counts, and a maximum fine of $500,000 for the structuring count. As part of the plea agreement, Hayes has also agreed to forfeit all assets gained through his offenses. Hayes is also facing a civil enforcement action from the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And 2 men accused of attacking an Apple Valley dad at Valley Fair last summer pleaded guilty earlier this week. Darius D. Evans, 21, of Brooklyn Park, and Devondra Q. Evans-Lewis, 19, of Columbia Heights, both entered guilty pleas for third-degree assault Monday in Scott County District Court. They will be sentenced June 22nd, a spokesperson for the Scott County Attorney's Office said. 6-month jail sentences are expected under plea negotiations. The Scott County Attorney's Office had offered plea deals to all 6 men involved in the attack last month. Each was initially charged with first-degree assault, which can carry up to 20 years in prison and a $30,000 fine. The 4 remaining defendants rejected plea deals and will go to jury trial. They are Terry L. Arnold, 23, of Brooklyn Park, Derry D. Evans, 20, of Minneapolis, Anthony C. Gildersleeve, 20, of Edina, and Andrew D. Shannon, 20, of Minneapolis. April 15th is generally known as Tax Day in the United States, but a determined group of people from around the metro and across Minnesota turned out to make it an anti-tax day at the state capitol in St. Paul Wednesday afternoon. Nearly 10,000 individuals showed up to shout, cheer, and wave placards, all in the name of calling attention to what they believe are ill-fated buyouts and high budget deficits. Sun newspaper's managing editor Paul Wall was on hand to capture the sights and sounds.
Why am I here? Every citizen should be here. We're concerned about what we're seeing happening with lots of different things, in particular the crazy spending that's going on that's going to cost generation after generation. We're never going to be able to recover from this if we don't do something to stop it now. Like you see the signs around here, enough. I think a lot of us are just saying enough.
Well, why I'm here is I think I'm just getting kind of fed up with the direction of the country and the taxes and the spending, and it doesn't seem like the politicians are doing anything about it, so I think it needs to be a grassroots thing from the people, and that the politicians might take notice.
I just believe in freedom. I have 35 years of following politics, and the problems are getting bigger. They're not getting smaller. The only thing getting bigger is government, and they're not in the business of solving anything. They're in the business of controlling people's lives. That's what I feel. They haven't solved anything. They've made everything worse.
The St. Paul version of the Tea Party was part of a national protest movement played out in hundreds of cities across the United States. More scenes from the protest will be posted on mnsun.com shortly. Your Weather Underground forecast for tonight is partly cloudy with lows around 45. Friday will be partly cloudy with highs around 70 and a low around 45. And today, I'll leave you with another tip from Yendi Anderson of the Dakota Scott Workforce Center for teens seeking summer jobs. All this week, we've been showing tips leading up to a 1-hour session on the topic at Robert Trail Library in Rosemount, 3 p.m. tomorrow. For Sun Newspapers, I'm Katie Mintz. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.
The current job market right now is very difficult. It's difficult for adults, and therefore it's difficult for youth. So While you're looking for a job this summer, if it doesn't work well that you find a position, keep in mind that you can always volunteer. A lot of people get jobs through volunteering. There was a youth last year who volunteered at a nursing home, and he was just spending time playing cards with some of the residents and just enjoying their company and sharing with them. And he ended up meeting a son of one of the residents, and while he was there, he talked with the son, and the resident's son offered him a position in his landscaping company. So volunteering does lead to positions, and it allows you to build your network. Another thing you can do as a youth is to keep your social networks clean. A lot of youth are involved on MySpace and Twittering and those type of things. Keep in mind that employers do look those things up. So when you're taking pictures with your friends and you're sharing different things online, keep those things clean, because you don't want to lose a position because of something you posted online.